Today on my gardening table, I am repotting my purple passion. I had a purple passion earlier in the year and, you know, it just kicked the bucket. So my sister gave me this one. And when I went to water it, because it looked limp, I noticed the roots were coming out of the bottom. So I said, oh, time to repot. So this one has long trails, and I wanted to keep the trails. So it ended up being 3 plants. And if you've been watching my channel and my talks about houseplants, I like to propagate almost as soon as I get a plant, usually, and I didn't with this one. I had broken my wrist. And so what happened was everything kind of got on hold, but I like to propagate because I had a wonderful ivy, a good example, the other day. I have no idea why, it just died. The beautiful plant, but I still had a little piece growing, so I didn't have to replace it. I know you can go to the store and replace them and all that, but I'm on kind of a full-scale experiment here, so I guess in my world, I want to keep propagating and learning it. So it's more of a science thing for me. I mean, it is for the beauty of my home, but it's also for a little bit of science. And I guess I'm shooting this out for what it's worth. Some of you out there may want to propagate, some of you may not. The ideal situation is to have nice, big, beautiful full pots all over the house. And that might be eventually where I end up, but for right now, because I'm kind of studying the plants and learning and growing and helping other people, I'm into the propagating and growth and study of the plants. So I may not have huge, big, beautiful purple passion because I divided it up, but if this were my sisters, they would put this all together and just get a bigger pot. But I decided for my purposes, I wanted to separate them and see how they go. So that's just for what it's worth out there, because that's how you make your plants fuller, is you break off like these little pieces here and you put them in the top and you get a nice big full bushy plant. But I'm kind of experimenting, so I kind of want to see how things go. So that's the method that I am using right now, if you're following me and seeing what goes on with my plants. And if you don't want to divide up your plants, you can see what's happening with mine. So this is what's going on right now. So as I'm working and decorating my house, because I want to decorate with plants and stuff and painting, this is a good time to play with this kind of stuff. So there you go, purple passion. But let's talk about purple passion for a second here too, guys. Purple passion likes the sun, and it also likes to not get its leaves wet. So if you're going to water purple passion, I suggest myself, how I water them is I just go to the side and water them. Now, like anything else, you can get it wet, you can water underneath and do different things, but that's how I do it. I also water African violets the same way, and in some ways this reminds me of taking care of an African violet. You don't want to get the leaves wet, you want to water from beneath, but I also water my African violets. They don't like cold water. Warm water they're okay, but they don't like cold water. That's their issue. And they also like sun, but when their leaves start to get burnt, I move them away from the sun, because when I have them in the sun, they usually will flower for me. In the ideal situation with them, and I notice these guys seem to do the same thing, is they like to sit under an LED bulb. So if you have a table or something, they would be happy there. But this is just thoughts to help you in your progress of growing plants. It's a little messy out here. I've got gardening stuff all over. I'm cleaning it up. But purple passion is a gorgeous plant. It can get really large. It can get beautiful. It can give and give and give. My sister told me she got a piece of this in the beginning of March or February, and look how big this thing got. So this is the purple passion, giving you some ideas on it. If you know anything about the purple passion you'd like to share, please share in the comments below, and like, subscribe, and remember, big or small, you too can be a backyard farm. God bless.